You are locked into another Tuesday evening with Soul Perspectives right here on CKUT 90.3 FM. Soul P has been on the air since 1994. We bring you all the topics, the guests, the ups and downs, the highs and the lows of the black community here in Montreal, across Canada, and internationally. I'm your host for the evening, Kym Dominique-Ferguson, and we have a beautiful evening of music and discussion lined up for you tonight. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives right here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial.
Roller coaster, you're my sugar high.
Immerse yourself in world-class jazz performances, brought to life on the big screen at Cineplex Cinemas, Forum and VIP with OJazz Global Stage. Only on select Mondays for a limited time. Each ticket includes a complimentary wine and cheese reception, making it the ultimate night out for jazz lovers and culture enthusiasts. Don't miss this opportunity to experience exclusive performances from internationally acclaimed jazz artists, transporting you around the globe to the world's most iconic jazz venues. Visit cineplex.com/OJazz Global Stage for tickets and more information. That's cineplex.com/OJazz Global Stage.
Yeah. Hey, give thanks for life. Give thanks for life. Oh, chimney, chimney. Today my rise like the sunrise, my bright and my upright. No one can broke my vibes. I may not care who I fight, I know I criticize. I'm on the higher heights. So you can say what you want to and do what you want to. It's no concern to me. Because I have my own vision, me dip on my own mission to rule my destiny. Oh, it's my day to do what the fuck I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life. I beg you, easy now, give me some reason now, and don't invade my space. I'm in a different place, different phase, moving on my way. So if you feel like a champion, then nothing can go wrong. This one is your song. Hey, put away your troubles, put away your worries. Help me sing along. Oh, it's my day to do anything I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life. Out there, so, I'm feeling alive, feeling a vibe, and nothing can stop me. I don't care what they think or what they say about me. Look out, world, here we come, up and running. And all I'm saying is, it's my day to do what the fuck I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. Some find house, some find cars, some find rings that are different things, but we found love. Girl, we found love. Girl, I want to love you. Let me kiss and hug you. Just wanna rub your body down. Been so long I want you. I've been waiting for you. I will catch you if you fall. Cause something slow like a river makes body shiver. Can't wait to deliver. This feels like love, and I have a burning desire to take love higher. This feels like love. Life feels more like living. This joy I'm feeling when you are around. When you are around. Girl, I want to love you. Let me kiss and hug you. Just wanna rub your body down. Been so long I want you. I've been waiting for you. I will catch you if you fall. something takes you higher than the mountain. Even when you know you're right, you still wanna say you're sorry. She makes natural fire, brings out the lion. Found a girl of island, oh she capture my heart. Girl, I want to love you. Let me kiss and hug you. Just wanna rub your body down. Been so long I want you. I've been waiting for you. I will catch you if you fall. Love, it's a beat of my heart. Love, it's a beat of my heart. It's a beat of my heart. It's a beat of my heart.
Baby, yeah. Damn, got them a child, I haven't seen him for a while. And now that's my book, you have my blushing and a smile. Baby, you look so beautiful. So I want me, darling. I hope you were fine, fine. And it's been a while now. I seen you, girl, child. Could you spare a moment? Spare me some time, sunshine. Baby, talking to you, girl, it seems worthwhile. Whoa, she come back in my world. Blossom the past to whom it concern. Old fire easy lift the candle off the burn. To how she come back, me know the earth it had turned. Then baby, from the day you be holding on my side, me shoulda hold you, squeeze you tight. Girl, this feeling is alright. Let's link tonight. Walk one, my darling. I hope you were fine, fine. And it's been a while now. I seen you, girl, child. Could you spare a moment? Spare me some time, sunshine. Baby, talking to you, girl, it feels worthwhile. Hey, a long time in the sea. Good body, girl, you know me have love for you. Listen when me tell you, say me need them a me. Moulda move mountains and carry it come here. Girl, you remember when your father used to tell me, say him a go kill you. And your mother used to watch you like Rudy and Tia. Still your teeth wait for rest your head from a pillow. You know what I grind in your walk one, me darling. I hope you were fine, fine. And it's been a while now.
Yes, we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is Kym Dominique-Ferguson, and for the month of May, we are celebrating Black mothers, but we're celebrating them a little differently. We asked some Black brothers to come on in and speak with us, and coming in this evening is no stranger to Soul P. He is a singer, he is a chef extraordinaire. He does so many things in the city, and on top of that, he's an amazing father himself. Jahmal Whosane at Talib Spence. Did I get that right? Or that was your old name?
Old names, but
Okay.
they're all part of who make up who I am today.
All right.
Appreciate you, brother.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming on to sing the praises of Black mothers, because I feel like in this time of social media we've got a lot of you know negativity that's flowing, and especially in the gender wars that's going on. And I really wanted us as Black men to be able to toot the horn for the mothers and the mother figures in our lives. And so let's kick this off. What is the earliest memory of the mother figure that you would like to talk to us about?
Uh, in one of my songs that I actually wrote this song for Father's Day back in 2016. But I started off this song by saying, like the comfort of my mom's womb, right? Like most people don't remember those times or that feeling, right? Like that's something, you know, um, that you wouldn't really recall growing up. But that's something I took the time to just sit back and kind of feel like, what is what was the safest moment I felt with my mother, right? And that kind of just put me in a place of darkness in a sense,
Mhm.
but in a way, it's like I felt her heartbeat, right?
Mm.
Um, and even now, just speaking, is like I feel her heartbeat. I feel that safety. Um, so for me, it may not have been the earliest, um, in terms of, you know, uh, living, but if I sit back and reflect, I can say I have felt the safest when I was, in her womb, right?
Right.
Um, the best memories I have is just of her, just always being there. Shout outs to my mom, Donette. Um, the best memories is is how she always looked out for my sister and the siblings that, she didn't push out herself. So that has always been my best memories with my mother.
So, yes, introduce us to your mother.
Yes, so for those who don't know, my mother, Donette, she I spent the last 27 years working at the Côte Child Care Center. So for those of you who know Mr. Allen's Daycare or call it Mr. Allen's Daycare, those of us who, you know, um, either went through the daycare or happened to go there after school with their connection with Coronation School, the school that I attended. We spent many years just in that community, right? Like Mr. Allen's daycare, for me, it started as a community. So I think I went there when I was about 4 or 5, and shortly after that, my mom got a job there. So she spent the last 27 years working there. Um, so there's a lot of hands that, there's a lot of children that pass through my mom's hands, I like to say,
Hmm.
at the daycare, you know. Yeah.
And what is the importance of a black mother to you?
Black mothers, they're the foundation. They're they're the cornerstone, right? The stone that the builder refused. Like I view that as the black mothers in today's society. Um, the bringers of life. We want to go back to the originators of all life. We could say that's the black woman, right? Um, the black woman has been undervalued, underappreciated for far too long. Um, and it's time that she gets her proper dues. She is tired. We see it in the world, you know. She as a people, they
Mm.
are tired. Um, and they honestly, they just want us black men to be men again, in all truth and honesty. And with that comes proper guidance. No man can be a leader. No man can be a proper guide to a woman if he doesn't have a proper covering, if he doesn't have, um, a solid foundation himself, right? And that's in the Most High, right? I'm not here to talk about religion, but in terms of what it is the Most High wants for all, right? That's love. And if me as a black man don't love the black woman or the mother that brought me here, then I'm not honoring my God,
Mm.
right? I'm not honoring my creator. So we as black men have to honor our creator by honoring the creation and by honoring the helpmeet that he has created for us. And that's the black woman.
Amen to that. Um, and when what is a lesson?
what is I'm sure that your mother has shared many, many lessons with you. But what is a lesson that you think really stood out for you, really impacted you, and that you kind of carry through your life to this day?
Um, it'd be there's there's many lessons, but I would say the one I won't get into too much details per se, but there's one lesson where I didn't want to follow what she wanted for me, you know.
Hmm.
She set rules, um, whether I believe that, you know, my way was a more correct way. I kind of ran to my father for support in that decision.
Hmm.
And in doing so, that created, an argument and whatnot. Because by then, my parents had been separated for over 10 years. Um, so, fast forward when the situation ended and my mom came and enforced her order, she more or less expressed all that she had to deal with for the last like 10 years and how much she um sacrifices and just does everything for me and my sister,
Hmm.
um and in that moment, I felt crushed because sometimes we don't realize it as children that, like, our parents are doing the best with what they have and with what they believe.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it may be their trauma preventing them from giving us a little bit more freedom, because they've experienced some things, or they grew up in certain communities that didn't appreciate or didn't respect uh, people that looked a certain way, right? So, for her, it's like she worked hard to do her best to keep me in a straight path, keep me from, just doing things that would have me perceived as, you know, um, the children in our community, the young youth in our community that get a bad rep, whether
Hmm.
they partake in certain activities or not, you know. So for me, that kind of crushed me because I never wanted her to feel that way. That was the lesson, you know. Um, never made my mom feel like she didn't do her best. Um, she isn't out here providing for me, and she doesn't know what's best for me in this moment or in this time,
Hmm.
Um, yeah, as I got older and as I have my own children, now I'm able to see certain things for myself, just in co-parenting, just in raising children on my own or in my own time, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And that said, like, having your own children now because you have two children, um, what, how did some of the lessons and the life experiences that you've had with your mother, how did that shape how you raise your children? Or how did that
Um,
impact your parenting?
yeah, so for me, as I said, like my parents split when I was young. That didn't stop, my father from being around, of course. For those who don't know, my father is Jabby, Byron Spence. And those of you who know him, he has many youths. He has, 12 biological and, four, step or adopted um, children as well. So I always valued the family um, aspect of my upbringing. I was always, around my other siblings, like cousins, and things of that nature. it's like we all kind of went to the same church, or we would hang out together. So for me, like family community was number one, and my dad kind of made sure he um, allowed all the siblings to see each other and play with each other. That being said, I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for my mom, right? Being a strong woman, being able to understand that the children have nothing to do with what, my father decided to do with his life, right?
Mhm.
And recognizing as a mother that, yeah, she may not, be in agreement or like any of the other mothers at a certain moment. But when it comes to making us see our siblings, like I recall my mom dropping me off to, like my father's house, my, to go spend time with my other siblings. And I remember like my mother and, the other mom arguing in the hallway or whatever it is. But my mom made sure she left us there, she left us there to spend time with our siblings and whatnot. She didn't let anything get in the way of that. And she also had them over, as time passed. My mom, my mom put her hands on every single child that my father has brought to this planet, you
Wow.
know, and I respect her for that. And I took that. I don't have many children. I have two, but for me, I knew that okay, my father, was working hard, building his businesses and stuff like that, and I may not have had him in the home as I wanted to, and though things didn't work out with um, me and the mother of my children, um, I was just adamant in making a shift in terms of the time that I'm able to give them. I spent, many years at the airport, uh, take working shifts that didn't allow me to see my children.
Mm.
Sometimes if you work a graveyard shift, you might have 2 days off, but you're finishing your shift into your first day off. And, so you might get your children one night, they might go to school, and that evening or afternoon, you're unable to see them because that night you're going back to work. So for me, that was very frustrating. And just the system, you know, it doesn't allow us um, to either be like a one income home, or be able to really work part time and support families. So I had to find ways to create businesses that would allow me to be home, allow me to have my children 50-50, and just give them what I felt I didn't have growing up. um and yeah, that's that was my goal, my aim, just to give them what I didn't have in terms of fatherly presence, being in the home, being able to influence, being able to guide, um, on a daily basis. Like I obviously spend time with my father, spend time with my other siblings, but the the home aspect, I believe it's important, and we all know why it's important as well. Right?
Mm. So she gave you the understanding that family comes first above everything, if I
Yes,
understand correctly. You know.
she did. Family comes first, but um, you know, it's really like there's a lot with my mom. Um, Family comes first, but regardless of what's going on in the family, children are innocent.
Mm.
That's the most important part. So, and she, as a mother, never did things out of spite, right? Like she didn't do things, she didn't keep me from my father. She didn't um abandon me because she needed her time or anything like that, right? Like we were innocent in all of this, and she took on all that she had to take on in order to, do her best.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ladies and gentle people, if you are tuning in for the first time this evening, we are speaking to Jahmal Spence. We do have to take a quick break, and of course, we're speaking about Black mothers. We're speaking love into Black mothers. We're giving them their flowers for the entire month of May. But we do have to pay some bills. We got to play some music. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial.
Music, food, and good vibes. On Saturday, May 10th, we're broadcasting live from the Caribbean Food Factory with legendary longtime CKUT programs, West Indian Rhythms, and Masters at Work. It's a full-flavor fundraiser for CKUT's funding drive, and you're invited. Come down to the Caribbean Food Factory at 5311 Boulevard de Maisonneuve West, where CKUT will be broadcasting live from 4 to 9. The event is free, but bring money to dine and donate to the station that moves with your community. More info at ckut.ca/donate and ckut.ca/events.
I can, I will it to existence, persistence, insistence, resistance to systems, yeah. Cold souls fold in the hold of a prison like origami slave ships, paper planes and religion. Look where we at without the GPS. We try to find ourselves and find some steps.
Yes, yes, yes. We're back. We're back. We're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial. My name is Kym Dominique-Ferguson, and this evening, this month of May, we are celebrating Black mothers like we have for the last few years, but with a twist. We've asked the brothers, we've asked Black men to come in and speak with us about their Black mothers, their Black mother figures as well. And this evening we are speaking with Jahmal Spence, formerly known as Hussein at Talib, musician, singer, songwriter, and a chef in the community. Jahmal, thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us some of the lessons and the impact that your mother, Donette, has had on your life. Really appreciate you for taking the time to chat with us this evening.
My pleasure.
No, when when it comes to Black mothers, because you've separated from the mother of your child, um, how does that impact you? And having seen your family separated as well, like how does that impact you, and how do you want to move forward in life, given the lessons that you've learned?
Well, first and foremost, I just have to give, thanks, respect, and honors to the mother of my children, Shamara. She's doing an amazing job, despite anything that we may not agree with between us in terms of how we want to raise our children. She is doing an amazing job. So first and foremost, have to give her respect. Um, the second part of that is taking accountability for anything that um, I may have done to cause the separation or to cause um, the to to cause the separation, and also anything that blocked us from being able to rekindle or work towards rebuilding, strengthening our family.
Hmm.
So have to acknowledge that as well. Um, you know, I'll say yeah, not all the time will meet somebody, you'll fall in love, and um, children become a part of the equation now, but might not always end up, down the road together, right? Um, we all have our own minds, we all have our own wills, and we all have our own desires in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, um, it goes back to what I said, earlier. Um, when I look back, I can see where I wasn't leading. You know, I may have had good ideas or I may have felt that we should move in a certain way, but um, I could have been a bit more firm, not aggressive, but more assertive in certain ways. Um, it's not about me enforcing my gender, right? It's not about me being a man, it's about me being the head of the household, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
I know a plan is better for the family, if I know we can wait on certain things, um, then I need to demonstrate that this is the best plan. With that being said, it's also being able to accept wisdom, accept advice, and accept what it is your woman is telling you sometimes. You know, um, we may not like the delivery of Black women, right? When they're trying to give us a message, the delivery can be harsh, it can be off-putting. But we gotta find a way to understand that, they may be speaking from trauma and not really attacking us as the individual, but really attacking or criticizing our thinking in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that also goes into the fact that, yeah, we as men might not feel like we're able to, open up and discuss certain things. But if we're able to understand the wisdom behind what it is she's saying,
Mm-hmm.
um, then we can really understand her points of view and, take her thoughts into consideration when it is we are making moves as men, right? Um, we're not just moving because we're the man, we're moving now because this is better for my family. We're moving as a unit, we're moving as the representation of that unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I take all those, lessons, and I had to forgive myself and also forgive her, right? Um,
Yeah, we got the dogs in the background that are the gentleman Jamal has some dogs, so he just muted us for a bit while the dogs are being a little bit talkative. One of the things for me that is so significant because I've also in my family, I also lived in a situation where my family split when I was very, very young. And one of the things that I can relate to you, Jamal, is my mother and my stepmother, who, if anybody follows me on social media, I always say I have two mothers. I don't say I have a mother and a stepmother. I always say I have two mothers. They work together to make sure that we there was a cohesive household, to understand each other and to understand me better as well because what a lot of people don't talk about is the trauma of the household being separated, the trauma of going from one household to the next. And mine was even bigger because I went from one country to the next, like it was Jamaica to Montreal, Jamaica to Montreal, and then Jamaica to Haiti. So there was quite a bit of distance. And for better or for worse, I didn't realize it at the time, but it did impact me. And so I had to kind of figure that out. But because my parents, and I only found out way, 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 way later on that my stepmother and my mother would sit on the phone and chat, you know, and reason about me and my behavior and come to an understanding of their relationship together and who I am. And so I was very grateful that I had a mother who was able to work with my stepmother, and I was unfortunate to have enough to have any other siblings, but I'm sure that were that the case, that if I had siblings, that they would be welcome in my mother's home as well. It's like they my mother would always make sure that we were still a family in spite of the distance between us. You know.
Yes, for sure, for sure. That's very important. And, my mom definitely um did did the same. Like, um, yeah, shout outs to, my stepmothers. I grew up with, Jackie, Gina, um, Sophia would be the mother right after my mother. They've all treated me like I was their own son. Some of them even call me son.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, over time, it was just interesting to see the relationships develop. Um, you know, my mom and Jackie, would develop a better or a stronger relationship over the years. That's why I said, like, all of my father's children passed through my mom's hands, you know? Um, and even that, like, I just want to give a shout out to my great grandmother, Aunt Joyce. Like, she's definitely, the matriarch of the family, and she has also had a hand in, raising all of us as well. Um, she she yeah, she she would do anything for us, basically.
Hmm.
She would do anything for us. So as I said, when, my father and the mothers had to put in long hours at the restaurants.
Hmm.
My great grandmother kind of stepped in and would watch the children, like, before daycare years and stuff like that. So
Right.
um really shout out to my my great grandmother. But yeah, just back to the stepmothers. I don't believe in steps.
Hmm.
I don't believe in half siblings. Um, I just believe in family. And yeah, my mothers have definitely demonstrated that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up your great grandmother. Um, so this was your grandparents, like one of your grandparents' mother. Is that it?
Exactly.
That is
On my
such a
on my
privilege.
father's side. Exactly. On my father's side.
So
Yeah.
so so since
I've always appreciated that growing up. I've always appreciated that growing up, like being able to have, my great grandparents around. At school, um, it's like my parents and grandparents were like a decade younger than everybody else's, right? So,
Mhm,
um, when people were experiencing, when my classmates were experiencing, like, losing their grandparents.
mhm,
For me, I was always just giving thanks that, wow, like, I'm fortunate to be with my great grandparents right now,
right,
you know. Yeah.
right. So let's do the same journey that we did with your mother, with your great grandmother. What is your earliest memory, of your great grandmother?
Um, um, Honestly, I just remember the address. I just remember that at one point in time they've been living there for 28 years, 5160 5160 Randall, shout outs to DG. But earliest memories with her would just be always correcting my great grandfather, to be honest. Like, she like I had a strong bond with him. Um, but like she would be the first one waking up in the morning. She would, make his coffee, make his breakfast, things of that nature. Like as I'm, there interacting with him and everything.
Mm.
Um, like I'm playing it back now and I see she's just waking up, just humming, singing her hymns. Um, now I can say that there were hymns, but Jen and yeah, just always on his tail, like the old couple of them, so little arguments, but she'd always be like, why don't you go shave? That would be her thing. Why don't you go shave? So yeah, that those were like my earliest memories. She was just taking care of everything, and she's a walker. She would walk up the street to go get her groceries, even though my uncle is right there with the car. She would want to go for her walks, go get groceries, until she can't no more. Like she's doing this up till today, even with like knee injuries and stuff like that. She still, would like to go out there and take her walks.
Hmm.
So resilience, strength, like that's my great grandmother.
Hmm. And it's so interesting the relationship dynamics. Another thing I wanted to ask you before I get to this question is, what is a lesson that you learned from your great grandmother? What is something that she taught you, whether directly or indirectly?
Um, hmm, that's a good question. Um, Again, like with her, it's really, I would say, um, yeah, it's a tough one because after my great grandfather passed, she kind of revealed just like how much a lot of it is still on her. You know what I mean? Um, it's still on her, just in terms of his care or his um, transition, right? Like a lot of things as families, we usually come together on two occasions, birthday celebration, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, the second one is death funerals, right?
Hmm.
And always when somebody transition, you hear somebody or you hear a few people say, "Oh, we need to come together. We need to do this more often and whatnot."
Hmm.
Um, so it's like, 2 years, well, now 5 years later, um, I don't see that unity, you know. And for me, I want to do everything in my power to like be able for her to give in all of us. I feel like we owe it to her. Um, but she embodied that. Right? She
Yeah.
embodied care, she embodied love, she embodied unity. Um, so yeah, like the lessons for me is just like it doesn't matter what you may think about certain individuals' choices in life. But
Hmm.
when it comes down to, helping and being there, we gotta stand as family, and then you can correct, you can offer solutions and whatnot. But she would always be there. She would listen to what you gotta say. And even today, like she's still trying to make sure you're good. You know what I mean? Um, Despite whatever she got going on. She's just a giver. So whatever she has, she gives if she's able to.
Hmm.
And I think we need to give love. Um, and love sometimes is harsh. You know, um, love isn't easy, but
Yeah.
love is true. You know what I mean? So she was always true to herself. If she didn't like my hair, she'd tell me she didn't like my hair, but that didn't stop her from helping. You know what I mean?
Ladies and gentle people, if you are tuning in for the first time this evening, we are here celebrating Black mothers, talking about our experiences with Black mothers, and in the case of my guest, Jamal Spence, great grandmothers, which I always think is a true privilege to experience. But we do have to pay some bills and play some music. Keep it locked. We're gonna be right back on the other side of this break. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT
Music, food, and
90.3
good
on your
vibes.
FM dial.
On Saturday, May 10th, we're broadcasting live from the Caribbean Food Factory with legendary longtime CKUT programs, West Indian Rhythms, and Masters at Work. It's a full flavor fundraiser for CKUT's funding drive, and you're invited. Come down to the Caribbean Food Factory at 5311 Boulevard de Maisonneuve West, where CKUT will be broadcasting live from 4 to 9. The event is free, but bring money to dine and donate to the station that moves with your community. More info at ckut.ca/donate and ckut.ca/events.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Life, life, life. Celebrate life, celebrate life. Celebrate life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them. Yeah. Go on, one a vibe. Give thanks for life. Next year we doing it again. Yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Whoa. One more year on them. Yeah. More life to you, can we day till the end. Real from me heart, no pretend. Big birthday, bash. If I ever on the ground, nigga, splash. Give thanks for when
Yes, 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 we're back, we're back, we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial. My name is Kym Dominique-Ferguson, and for the month of May, we are celebrating Black mothers through the voices of Black men. And with us this evening is no stranger to Soul P, Jamal Spence, formerly known as Hussein at Talib, a singer, songwriter, father in the community, a chef, and so many more accolades. But tonight we are talking about son and great grandson. Jamal, thank you so much once again for like sharing with us these experiences, very, very insightful experiences. I wanted to know because you have a Caribbean background and you were raised here. Were was the Caribbean background on both sides?
Yes, I'm on both sides. My mom was born in Jamaica, came here around 17. My father was born here. But his mother, born in Jamaica. Stepfather Mitch, Jamaican. But his father was Saint Vincent.
All right. And so how does having a Caribbean, because you grew up in Montreal, right? You grew up in Canada.
Yes,
And
unfortunately.
obviously you've seen other people and you've seen how they were raised. And how does having a Caribbean born mother How does that differ for you than from like everybody else?
First and foremost, all praises to the Most High, because some of them picnic I was here today have no upbringing, and that just comes from, like the strictness we can say from being raised in like a Caribbean household, right?
Hmm.
Um, being Canadian born, we can say I might have a little more leeway in certain things. I actually remember this one time I was upset with something my mom told me. I wasn't no more than 6 years old. Told me something, right? And I didn't agree what she said, but being a Canadian, I knew I had rights. So I dialed 911. But in like a quick instance, I knew it was like, okay, it wasn't nothing so serious that I actually needed the police. Or maybe some thoughts came into my head like, whoa, if my mom actually gets arrested or something like that, then I won't have my money. So, like in a quick instance, like I hung up the phone, right? But like, it's like a moment where I felt like, no, I have rights, as a Canadian, I have rights, and
Right.
and that's the thing, like, they can't in this society or whatever, you can't correct or discipline your child in a certain way. And I'm not saying go beat your child or nothing like that, right? But you know, we need to be able to correct our children in certain ways, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And yes, also, we may not have as much mouth as, certain Caribbean children. Um, if we look at some reels and stuff like that on the
Hmm.
social media and things, like they're looking at some of them Caribbean picnic, like, well, you get like you saying these things, but also I would say like there's also a difference in like level of intelligence. A lot of the Caribbean born or Caribbean raised have a lot more independence. Um, yeah, have a
Yeah.
lot more independence. I'll say that.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because I was born in Canada, but I was raised in the Caribbean. And granted, when I came back to Montreal for college and university, I I really just I was already 20 years old. Yeah. So I had 3 years over the people who were in Dawson, but I had a level of independence and my the way that I was thinking was way, way different from everybody else. And then also schooling was easy. And I think it was almost too easy to my detriment because I feel like I got a little bit lazy because I had so like in the Caribbean, I was just a little bit above average.
Yes.
But when I got here, I was I felt like I was a super genius because of the hard work that you had to do in the Caribbean if you really wanted to be like an A student. You had to work three, four, five times as hard as anybody else. But here it was just so easy. I mean, when I got A's on my papers, I was shocked because I was like, oh, hold on a second. Because I'm not putting in that much more effort. Um, so yeah, I
Yeah.
do I do feel like when you're raised in the Caribbean, not only with with the manners that you're either taught directly or indirectly, right? And sometimes it comes with a correction, like say for example, you're chewing your food and you're sopping your food. One of your family members go, "Hey, stop sopping your food." And
Yes.
that stays in your mind. And sometimes the way that it's said, what you said earlier really resonated, the tonality of it. Because I caught myself saying it the exact same way that my auntie said it to me. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, my aunt just jumped out of my chest right now. No? But yeah, like those lessons stay with us, and for better or for worse, because sometimes it's not always in the right way or the kindest way or the way that is best to correct somebody. Because I feel like sometimes, when we're getting a correction, when we did the thing that we did, it's not always necessarily out of malice. Like when somebody is supping their food, they're not necessarily doing it like they're not thinking, oh, let me sup my food and annoy my mother or anything.
Right.
It's just something that happens, you know.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
correction, I think if the person is still supping their food after the third time, then you can get a little bit rough with them, like,
Yeah.
stop chewing your cud
Yeah.
like a cow. Like, what is this? You know? But the
Word.
first time you correct someone, you should do it with a little bit of kindness. But I also understand that my aunt was probably traumatized when she was supping her food as a young one.
Yeah.
And they probably
Mhm.
were even worse. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just been passed down. So
Yeah.
all of that to say, being raised Caribbean in the Caribbean is a much, much different experience. Um, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because I don't know what kind of man I would be today if I was raised up here in Canada. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I give thanks for your upbringing, man. Like you're an exceptional role model, human being, person, man, father yourself, so I give thanks for all the matriarchs in your family, brother.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I have and had quite a bit. My grandmother passed away in 2014. My last living grandmother, biological grandmother. I still have my other grandmother, my grandfather's wife, who's still here with us, and we're very, very grateful to have her. But yeah, one grandmother left. Um, and it's an interesting experience because over the years, especially since my grandmother passed, and you were talking about, the family being together and gathering and all of that. Since my grandmother passed, we don't gather as to that, and my great aunt, she was in a home for a while, so we didn't gather around her for very much. And there's this thing of responsibility, and I was thinking about it as you were talking, and I was like, man, when I finally move into a nice size home apartment, I'm probably gonna be the one who's gonna be like, okay, if I'm in Canada, okay, family needs to gather, family needs
Yeah,
to come together, because if I don't do it, then who's gonna do it? You know?
I agree. I feel the same way. Like, I feel like I have the same responsibilities. But one thing I will say though is the way we are not in control of time, I will advise you as I'm advising myself, brother, don't wait until we feel we have certain things in place, you
Hmm.
know. We got to just do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So whether it be from now on, we say, okay, every Sunday, even if you can't do it at your place right now, we can find ways to get it done. And I think that's what it means to be a man, and I think that's what we need to show in these times, that it doesn't matter what our circumstances are. If we know we should be doing something, we got to do it.
Mm. Hmm. 100%, 100%. What is something that you would like to say to your mother that perhaps you haven't said?
Um, Probably haven't said it in a while or directly, but I just want my mother to know that. I'm extremely proud of her. Um, yeah, I'm extremely proud of her, and I recognize and I know that she did the best with what she had. And I told her this the other day, but I want her to really, you know, um, let this sink into her heart that I've always had her back and always wanted the best for her and always believed in her abilities to, bring out what it is she believes she's here to do. Um, I want her to have more, I say confidence, more confidence in herself, um, more trust in the Most High, and you know, just know that, yeah, I have your back. I've always believed in you, in your work, especially when it comes to children. So, whatever idea you think you may have, I believe it's your calling, and we're gonna work towards just bringing that out. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you for all that you've done for me and my sister, and for every child you laid hands upon. Um, I know you left the spirit of the Most High in each and every one of us, and whether you just gave us a moment of joy for that day, or you instilled something that carried us for the rest of our lives. I know you were sent here for a reason, and I love you, and I'm forever grateful to have you as my mother.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Ladies and gentle people, we have one more segment after this, but we do have to take a break. We're celebrating Black mothers in the month of May through the voices of Black men, because we want to kind of show another side to what social media and other people would like us to think is actually going on, which is these gender wars, especially amongst Black folk. I see mostly. Um, because really and truly that is rubbish, 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 rubbish. The gender wars is rubbish. It is a minute part of the truth, so please don't be fooled. And we are helping to unfool people by showing Black men who are praising the Black women in their lives, the Black mothers in their lives. We do have to take a quick break, play some music, and pay some bills. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial.
Like summertime, his presence brings a warmth I can't deny. My sweet delight, ooh, his smiling eyes. Sun-kissed every time his lips touch mine. I feel his light, yeah, I feel his light. You mystify me, and chaos only you I see. Mesmerized every time you come around. Got me hypnotized by your energy. I'm loving what you do to me. I'm astounded by this love new found. I can see, I can feel your eyes still on me. I can see, I can feel your lips over me. I can see, I can feel your love tonight. If I could, I would fly to your love tonight. Yeah. Ooh, it's my sin July. A gift he was, he cleared my stormy weather. My luck changed for the better.
Yeah. I don't usually do this, but Taylor, oh my God. Can I sing to you? Yeah. Yours, mine, ours. I could do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I wanna give you your flowers and some champagne showers, all the shrimp and lobster towers. But it's me that gets devoured. Ooh, when you do what you do, I'm empowered. You give me a superpower. Together the world could be ours. You sit me up on the counter, instantly it's thunder showers, storming for a couple hours. When we finish, take a shower. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours and hours. Usually don't like nobody, and when I say nobody, I mean nobody. All these niggas full of shit.
I can't tell where yours begins. I can't tell where mine is. Brown skin up against my brown skin. Need some every now and then. No, yeah. Where are your people from? Maybe Mississippi or an island. Apparently your skin has been kissed by the sun. You make me want a Hershey's kiss, your licorice. Every time I see your lips, it makes me think of honey-coated chocolate. Your kisses are worth more than gold to me. I'll be your almond joy, you'll be my sugar daddy. Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin. I can't tell where yours begins.
CKUT's annual funding drive is back from May 2nd to 11th, and this year we're booming and blooming, louder, weirder, and more beautiful than ever. From radio waves to dance floors, backyard barbecues, and live broadcasts, we're turning up across the city to celebrate the station that has been keeping Montreal fresh for decades. But powering independent radio isn't cheap. We're aiming to raise $55,000 to keep CKUT loud and proud. So if you love what you hear, help us grow. Donate now at CKUT.ca/donate or call 514-907-9424. CKUT 90.3 FM, booming and blooming across Montreal since 1987.
Yes, 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 we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives, where the soul shifts and perspectives change. My name is Kym Dominique-Ferguson, and this is CKUT 90.3 FM. This month, for the month of May, we have decided to continue our annual celebration of Black mothers every week. And in that celebration, we have decided that we want to have Black men's voices giving Black mothers their praises, their flowers, the love, the joy, the truth, and for this whole month. And so we have with us brother Jahmal Spence, aka Hussein at Talib back in the day. For those who know, if you know, you know. He is a musician, a singer-songwriter. He is a chef. He is a teacher, among many things. And of course, he is himself a father. Jahmal, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us this evening. And in this final segment, um, you you oh my God, I lost my thought for a second there. We spoke during the break, and you said that you would like to speak about relationships, and I'm guessing like you have a partner in your life, and there's something you'd like to say about that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd just like to say that, you know, going back to when I was talking about separating from, the mother of my children, as we continue on with our lives, we may get into other relationships, and in those relationships, you might hear the same words that were spoken to you before
Mm,
in a different manner, or you may even encounter somebody that is more in alignment with, your beliefs or your walk in life, right?
mm,
But it just goes back to, just the theme of correction, motherly love, right? Um, so I'm just grateful for, my experiences since, and I just want to give a big shout out to um, my partner, TK. Um, the last 2 years hasn't been easy, but her being a mother herself and her being a bit older than me, um, was able to sit and really listen to her experiences. Um, and again, like I'm someone as a man, like um, I'm not perfect, and again, there's through my journey, as I've shared before, I know that had I been more assertive or had a better covering, I could have led in any of the relationships I was in, right?
mm,
Um, but I'm someone who really listens to, you know, um, my partner's experiences, what they've been through, but I'm also able to see what it is they need currently in their life, right? So it's not about what I may want or what I see for us, right? Because a lot of times we can get caught up in, fantasy or our beliefs in what we think a relationship is supposed to be. But when you're in it, you actually see, what it is you may have missed in your previous relationships or what it is you've been missing your whole life, right? Like the
yeah.
goal is to be with your other half or your better half, right? Um, a lot of times we refer to our partners as that. Um, so, really want to give TK her respect, her honors, her love. She's doing an amazing job as a, single mother. And that's something I've seen growing up, right? Like my mother, my stepmothers, whatever the case is, whether my dad just had to be working all the time, even if he was with whoever he's with. Um, that pain, that experience, it's very familiar to me, and
Mm,
it's kind of what drives me to, be different. Um, I can say that I've spent, you know, a lot of my journey or a lot of my time focused on, being different. And then other times, being just 100% true to myself. But, there needs to be an integration, a balance. Um, Knowing responsibilities I have as a man, as a father, as a partner. Um, TK has shown me the meaning of loyalty, the true meaning of love, um, the real meaning of respect, right? Um, and she's somebody that really embodies sisterhood. You know what I mean? She embodies sisterhood, and that's something that I think is missing in the community, especially amongst Black mothers. Um, a lot of them feel like they're alone,
mm,
you know. I know the mother of my children, Shamara, I know she feels like she's alone, right? And um, I may not have expressed it in the best way over the years, but like I also want her to know that she's not alone. Like I'm here for her. If there's anything she ever needs, like I'm here for her. At the end of the day, I feel like I don't feel like I know. I created a family with her. I'm responsible. It doesn't matter what happens afterwards. I'm responsible,
mm,
right? She can live her life. She can make her own decisions in regards to her. But when it comes to the well-being of my family or the family, I'm the head. I will always be the head, not stepping on, nobody else's toes or anything like that. But when it comes to the well-being of my children, I am the head. As a man, with a woman with a child or with children, you gotta understand that you're now taking them on as well. They are your children. You're responsible for them as well. Um, and I've always just known in me, okay, like there's things that I need to do to support her. There's things in my life that I need to change or set up so I can really be, as you said yourself, like, you may want to get a house so that you can bring grandma in and things of that nature. But what can I do now? How do I show these children that this is what a man is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So it goes in the way we treat women. It goes in the way we treat our partners. As I said, the Black woman is alone, so she doesn't have a man in the home showing her that 24/7, right? And we know that was one of the goals with this system, right? So if the children don't see what a provider and a protector is, and a nurturer and a loving, supportive partner is in the home, all they understand is I gotta go out there and get it. Like they may only understand the provider aspect, but in that sense comes a selfishness because you feel that this is the only way to do this, right? I have to go out there. I have to put in all my time to not thinking about what the woman needs at home, right? And she may not even be expressing it the way that she needs to. But if you can read your partner, if you understand your partner, you'll understand what it is she's not saying, right? And yeah, so I'm just as a man, as a partner, um, just I just want, TK to know that I tell her all the time, but I just want her to know that as a Black woman, as a mother, as a sister, you don't ever have to explain yourself, your day, or anything like that to me, right? When you need your time, I know you need your time, and I full encourage you to take your time. Anything you need that will make you full joy that time, that will give you that peace of mind, that where you're not worried about, taking care of supper and all these different things that you have to do. I, as a man, would do that for you. I should say we are in a long distance relationship, but that still doesn't stop me from thinking about what it is she needs, right? And in the distance, right? Yeah, as a man, it can be difficult. I want to see my partner 24/7. But I also know I have my youths that are a responsibility. And, I'm doing things, I'm setting up my life for the benefit of my family. Like the reason why I have different businesses or different interests, it's because like I was that child that wasn't really feeling college. I was in mechanical engineering technology, right? I worked at the airport for 10 years, 7 years doing baggage outside. Like I was the lead, heading to be supervisor, wanting to be manager and all these things. But when I think about what it is I'm here to do, like that stuff, it may be satisfying, it may signify status to some people, but I never liked
Sorry, Jamal, we're losing the connection a
certain
little bit.
things with my hands, right? Like or begin. Um,
Sorry, we
I've
lost the
always felt
connection a
like
little
my
bit.
hands
Hmm.
needed to, yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
All right. So I always felt like my hands needed to be around life, and I
Hmm.
was able to really come to that understanding when I got my injury at the airport. And this is why I say it's from Most High, because I was literally thinking of, doing 4 months overtime, and this is like working every day, just to handle whatever it is I felt I needed to handle.
Hmm.
Bills, my car, you know, trying to get bigger apartment, whatever it is, right? All these material things we feel we have to keep up. I was literally about to go do 4 months straight, and I got a concussion at work, and that put me off for a total of 13 months. But
Mm.
in the first month or two, I had to sit with myself, and I decided I wanted to go back to school, but do something different. I wasn't feeling the engineering, um, and I always just had like a slight calling to, like massage therapy. So I actually took a course in shiatsu. And
Mm.
then from that, like that took me back into the kitchen that I was always running away from, my father's restaurants and stuff like that, because I didn't want to be, stuck in the restaurant 24/7 and not seeing, my family, whatever it was, whatever
Yeah.
my experience was, right?
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, once my hands made contact with life, basically I recognize, okay, this is my calling. Like I understand um what it is with food I'm supposed to do. So I do more plant-based cuisine. I promote the use of herbs in your diet. You know, living food, that's what we want to eat. Seasonal eating, right? Like there's things we should eat. There's things we shouldn't eat in the winter that we should eat in the summer, right?
Hmm.
I'll just give that contrast. So, taking all that experience, it allowed me to be home. It allowed me to create expensive care, which is the massage side of my business. And then because I had to study food, that brought me back to the cuisine, as I said. So right now I'm more focused on expensive cuisine. Um, but basically you hear the theme, expensive. It's a play on my last name, but your life is expensive. Health is wealth, and your life
Hmm.
is expensive. And I believe the most expensive life is the Black woman's life, right?
Mm.
The originator, the giver of life. Um, she's the most important, right? So um, when it comes to the women in my lives, done. I forgive myself. I forgive them. You know, it's all a part of the journey in us becoming who we are and becoming better people, better fathers, better mothers, um, better human beings. But as I said, TK, like I have to give her her flowers. She embodies great qualities, and I just want her to know that you know, despite the distance, she's not alone. Um, she spent her life caring for, many children. I won't get into her life story, but she spent a time fostering boys specifically,
Hmm.
a lot of boys. Yeah, a lot of boys in her life. And I can say that some of those boys are still in contact with her today, and you know, really appreciate all that they've done for her. She has been a mother that has given children motherly love and has been able to integrate some of those children back into the homes that they came from, right? Like,
That's amazing.
she's an exceptional, phenomenal woman. She deserves her flowers. Yeah, I love her, and I honestly wouldn't be the person that I am today if it wasn't for anything that we've gone through over the last like year and a half, 2 years.
Amazing. Well, thank you
So
so much, Jahmal. You had a lot of flowers to give, and I'm sure they will be very well received. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this week's segment. Thank you once again, Jahmal, for coming on and talking with us and sharing the experience with us. I believe that it is important for Black men to speak love and power into Black women, especially now in these times where we're seeing a lot of conflict is the clickbait of social media. Um, I believe that love is going to is it has to prevail. It has to prevail. Ladies
okay.
and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the week. You had a few closing words, Jamal?
I just say amen to that, and I would just say love and wisdom is the light. You know what I mean? And wisdom is described as a she. So let's honor the Black women and all that she's here to bring for us.
Beautiful.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you so much, man. Ladies and gentle people, that brings us to the end of the show this evening. You've been listening to Soul Perspectives. We'll be back again next week from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Tuesday evening. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 on your FM dial.
I'm about to make a hit. Yo, all the guys. Police. Life sport is about to win. Jump up and do, out of my corner. May I have the food to say? I play the fool to catch the wiser. Now I'm the one that can give us pay. Police. Life, I'm about to make a hit. Yo, all the guys. Police. Life sport is about to win. Yo, all the guys. Police. Life, I'm about to make a hit. Yo, all the guys. Police. Life sport is about to win.
Living in the ghetto life is not easy. Cannot get no job, you cannot earn no.
Start your weekend off right each and every Friday night with the Weekend Groove Crew from 10 p.m. to midnight. Your hosts, Mr. Mikey Don and DJ Everton Green, bring you the best in R&B, hip-hop, and soul, and whatever else we choose to throw into that mix. Come and discover your groove as we feature new releases each and every week from Canadian and international talent, along with interviews and so much more. The Weekend Groove, every Friday, 10 p.m. to midnight. More music, less talk.
CKUT's annual funding drive is back from May 2nd to 11th, and this year we're booming and blooming, louder, weirder, and more beautiful than ever. From radio waves to dance floors, backyard barbecues, and live broadcasts, we're turning up across the city to celebrate the station that has been keeping Montreal fresh for decades. But powering independent radio isn't cheap. We're aiming to raise $55,000 to keep CKUT loud and proud. So if you love what you hear, help us grow. Donate now at CKUT.ca/donate or call 514-907-9424. CKUT 90.3 FM, booming and blooming across Montreal since 1987.
The 41st edition of the Festival International de Musique Actuelle Victoriaville takes place from May 12th to 18th, with 2 major concerts on Saturday, May 17th. Mats Gustafsson's Fire Orchestra, which features 14 Canadian musicians from coast to coast, and Sleepytime Gorilla Museum. Also, experimental cinema by Oscar nominee Bill Morrison on May 16th. Box office information at fimav.qc.ca. That's fimav.qc.ca.